Yo, what the deal? It's your boy X.E.L.O. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you. Yes, you. Thank you for coming back. But if you are new here, do me a favor and like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. That'll let you know when I drop another video. Today, what I want to do is talk about the new sonar that just dropped. It's the 2025.08 update number 2. So it looks like they added a couple of things in here. I definitely want to talk about it and get your thoughts on it. Make sure you guys are commenting below in the video as well. So let's get into it. All right, so once you download from the product center inside of Cakewalk, you will get to this screen for Sonar, and it's basically telling you what has been updated in here. And as you can see, as of August 22nd, 2025, the 2025.8 update 2 is available. So there's some various fixes, optimization, and usable enhancements. So here's what I want to talk about. This is the premium stuff. So anytime it says premium, pretty much, you know, it is the subscription-based model. So don't get your hopes up for everybody who is running the free sonar, right? Integration for the new Cakewalk Core plugin series. These brand new VST plugins are intended to replace the old Cakewalk DX plugins. So if you are using like the Sonitis stuff or any of the older Cakewalk like DX plugins, this is what they have put out there to replace them. I don't know if they've done, how many they've done actually, but it's been asked for many times. I've seen it many times on the forum, and it looks like they are finally delivering on that after all these years of them seeing that on the forum for updates, or at least a facelift for like the Sonitis plugins and the DXI stuff. All right, the plugins are deeply integrated into Sonar and seamlessly migrated the plugins and automation settings from projects containing the old Cakewalk Sonitis DX plugins. Like I said, those Sonitis ones, a lot of people have wanted those to be updated so many times. They asked for a facelift of them, not necessarily to like replace them, but give them a facelift, something that makes it look a little newer, cleaner, to go along with the DAW. All right, so it says the new plugins are efficient and designed to be DPI scalable and easily expandable in the future. So basically that means that you will be able to kind of manipulate the size of it according to however you want it on your screen, which is always a good thing. So if you want it bigger so you can see stuff, or if you want it smaller because it's just taking up too much space, you have that option. All right, core plugins now activate automatically using single sign-on host authentication. No extra steps are required to activate the core plugins other than signing into your BandLab account from within the DAW. So basically you can actually sign on automatically and get these plugins working for you. But once again, you have to be a core member in order to get that done. So there's that. All right, toast notification is now displayed after loading projects when missing plugins are detected, or if the plugin is replaced with a newer compatible VST3 version. Click the show button. Notifications will show the details. A new dialog will show plugins replaced when they are upgraded to the VST3. That is always cool. So if you do have a VST that's being replaced, so let's say you had a Sonitis in your project and you updated and you have the VST3 on there, it'll let you know which ones is actually replacing, which is always a good thing. So you kind of know where you stand, right? So this is just optimization, reduce PC loads. Yeah. Improve responsive when slip editing clips. This is important, I think, because I used to have issues when I used to do like the slip editing inside of Cakewalk, especially if I'm running a project and trying to find a little piece. It was kind of glitchy at times, so I guess this will help with that slip editing when you're actually doing it during your playback, right? So that's good. And then of course, here's a couple of fixes that they've actually had. But let's see what this core plugins are. Let's go. All right, so here we are on the Cakewalk forum. So basically they want some feedback if you guys have feedback for these plugins. And once again, like I said, you activated with BandLab membership, so you have to be on a subscription in order to actually use this. The first one up is the core compressor. It kind of looks like the Sonitis one a little bit, but not really. So I'm wondering how it kind of looks with the graphics and the ins and outs here. So you have your knee, attack, release, and your gain down here. I'm wondering if they have presets in here, the same as there was inside of the Sonitis ones. That would be really, really dope, because a lot of people don't want to change that much to where they have to actually manually do everything again. Some people like presets or have presets that they've actually created inside of their Sonitis. So I'm wondering if they can actually transfer those over to these plugins. All right, so the core delay, this looks like more of the Cakewalk, old Cakewalk one that they had. And this, I guess they just gave it a newer little box. I wasn't necessarily a fan of the delays, the Cakewalk delays, or the way they had it laid out. I'm not fond of this look, period. Like, this looks like it's incomplete. That is just, that's just me. I don't like Ableton because it looks incomplete as well for their plugins. I don't like Reaper's default ones. They look ugly unless you put them on a black background, and they look pretty cool. But I don't necessarily like their these knobs. It looks just half done. It doesn't look complete. That's just me. You know, it is what it is. All right, so you have a core EQ for looks like 6-band paramedic Paramic. All right, so you have a 6-band Paramic EQ, right? So I still think that Cakewalk needs to add another EQ inside of the Pro channel. That is a stance that I still stand by. It just makes more sense to me to have more than one EQ inside of the Pro channel, but I don't think they agree with me, so they haven't even looked at it. I have done feature requests for asking for it, but I haven't heard anything back. I don't think the community really cares that much about it, but I do. This core EQ looks pretty cool. I don't really have any qualms with it. I would have to hear how it sounds to make, some kind of decision on if this will work for me or not. All right, so the core gate, once again, I think Sonitis had some really good presets for their gate. I don't know if this one will have those same kind of presets on there, but it looks like it has a couple more features than the Sonitis one did. So, I mean, you would have to test it out to know. So if you are a person that is using the subscription and you've actually updated this stuff, let me know how it sounds. That is the most important part of all this stuff. How does it actually sound? It could look ugly all at once, but how does it sound is what we want to go for. All right, so core modulation. So I guess you can actually do some different things. All right, combine 6-time varying modulation effects like flanger, ensemble, and phaser into one versatile plugin. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure what this one is replacing, unless it's like one of the older Cakewalk DX ones that they had. That may be what this one is replacing. I don't remember a core modulation for Sonitis, but then again, I could be wrong. Let me know below in the comment sections if I am misquoting myself here. All right, so core multi-band. So we have 5 bands. I haven't used a multi-band in a minute. It hasn't been something that I've needed to use. I haven't really needed to tame sounds like that. Usually that's what, most people would use, the multi-band compression. I guess when you're doing like some kind of mastering at times, you may want to do it to kind of, if you notice like this one part that's kind of doing weird stuff, you want to kind of tame it. That's usually what the multi-band compressor does for me. I don't know how you guys actually use yours. That's just my thought pattern and how I actually use it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if you guys use a multi-band compressor. I believe this one is replacing the one for Sonitis, so that's cool. All right, core phase. So you get to do a nice little phase things on here. That's pretty cool. And widening and then the stereo imaging of your sound. I'm wondering if it does do distort though. If you go like too wide or you phase too much, I don't know how this actually sounds. Like that will be the key to all this, is how does it actually sound? Like, does it sound good is what I would definitely want to know. All right, core reverb. So you have a reverb here that emulates sound reflections in a virtual room. So you have a whole bunch of different rooms, I guess, you can actually use. I really like the Sonitis reverb and the options that it gives you in here. I don't know if it looks like they may have taken a couple of them away on this plugin, but I'm wondering, like I said, is there presets that actually can be used from the Sonitis one inside here? Because they had some pretty good presets as well for the Sonitis reverb from what I remember when I used to use it. That's just a question, food for thought. So let me know, guys, in the comment section, does it actually have presets in there? All right, so the core auto filter, versatile filter, dynamic sweeping and resonance bandpass filter based on manual input. So I guess you have to manually input whatever you're trying to change for the filter, or where you want to actually cut off. That's pretty cool. I don't have an issue with that. I don't remember what this is changing. I don't remember a auto filter on the Sonitis or on Cakewalk. So that's very interesting. All right, so this is availability. So it's on Mac and Windows. All right, it's currently available as an add-on, and the plugins are exclusive to BandLab membership. And you can activate them in Next and Sonar, or self-authenticate for use in other DAWs. So this is very key, I guess, to me. Like, if I can use in other DAWs, that'd be cool. I probably wouldn't, just because the other DAWs will probably have their own kind of things in there. But I'm glad that they do give you an option to authenticate and use it in another DAW. They do want some feedback still. And just to make sure you guys know, it will not work on the older versions of Sonar. You have to have the newest build in order to install it. It won't install on the build of Sonar since they do not have the full integration capabilities for them. So make sure you're using the new stuff. It's going to install in your VST3 folder, right? So, and Mac is going to be in here in your VST3 core folders. Automatic migration from Sonitis plugins in Sonar. All right, the Cakewalk core suite can automatically migrate all legacy Sonitis plugins when you load your projects. So basically, when you load up your project, you'll get an option to change it from the old Sonitis into this newer Cakewalk core. That's pretty cool. All right, you can enable this in preferences, VST settings, VST3 migration, and check replace if possible on project load. So basically, you just go into VST settings and you replace on project load. I used to have issues with Cakewalk in this whole setting because my VST2s used to be in the project, and I updated to VST3s and it would not load the project because the VST2s weren't recognized anymore. So I used to have issues with that. Hopefully this will actually fix that issue that I was having opening projects, but we shall see. All right, the total notification will display after loading the projects. All right, so you can actually see where it's at. I think they said that on the other page as well. So here's, I guess, important notices, important notes. All right, Sonar will seamlessly migrate the Cakewalk Core plugin suite from the old legacy Sonitis plugins at project load time. All settings and automations will be transferred automatically. All right, the migration is one way. This means that you cannot revert from core plugins back to Sonitis. So once you change it in the project, you cannot go back to Sonitis. I guess that's a very, very important thing to keep in mind. So definitely, if you guys are deciding to do that, make sure you keep that in mind, that you cannot go back to the Sonitis plugins in the project. All right. Although the migration is fully compatible with the old EOS plugins, we highly recommend that you save a backup copy of your project files prior to migrating to the new core plugins. So make sure that you guys are saving your stuff before you decide to actually open this up in your projects. So make a backup of your project and before you open it inside of this new core plugins. All right, the automatic migration will not work in prior Cakewalk hosts or other hosts. All right, in Cakewalk BandLab or Sonar Platinum, you must disable VST migration settings before loading old projects containing Sonitis plugins, since it may lead to errors on loading the projects otherwise. So basically, make sure that you are disabling this if you're doing stuff from Cakewalk, BandLab, and Sonar. Interesting. All right, so the activated BandLab membership, we all knew that. Cakewalk, Sonar, and Next are the things that you use. It does use single sign-on for authentication. You don't have to, do anything else. Just sign in, and those plugins will start working for you. All right, if you are using another DAW, you will need to sign into your BandLab account within the plugin. So the plugin, I guess, has an option to sign into BandLab. I guess you can use your single sign-on still to actually do it. Unactivated plugins will not load. Will load, but not. Unactivated plugins will load, but will stream silence until you have signed into your BandLab account. All right, so basically meaning that if you are on the subscription and you do not pay your subscription, you will hear silence. Very interesting. So you will hear silence if you're not signed into your BandLab account when using these Cakewalk core plugins. All right. Plugins can be used offline once they are activated successfully, as long as you stay signed into the DAW or plugin. The normal periodic reactivation will be automatically performed in the background. So basically you will automatically be reactivated once you pay for your subscription. Offline activation is currently not available. So basically they want you to be online to actually use this. When running non-host, a sign-in banner will allow you to sign in and activate the plugin. All right, so here is the sign-in banner. And basically you have to sign in order to actually use this in another DAW. That's interesting. I don't necessarily have any issues or qualm with that. I think that's a pretty good idea for them to do that. But, if you're going to be doing subscription, you might as well just keep using Sonar. And why would you use another DAW then, right? All right. With these Cakewalk core plugins, what do you guys think? Let me know below in the comment section of this video. Let me know what you guys think about these new plugins. Will you be using them to replace your Sonitis or any other DXI plugins that you do have? If you are subscribed to them, let me know how they sound. Put it below in the comment section. Let me know how they sound. Do they sound like the Sonitis ones? I guess those are the two questions that I do have. So, does it sound as good or better than the Sonitis plugins? That's one. Two, do you have presets like you did inside of the Sonitis plugins to use inside of these new Cakewalk core plugins? Those are the two questions that I kind of have. Let me know below in the comment section if you are subscribed and you have subscription to the Sonar plan and actually are using these. Let me know. All right. But with that being said, that's pretty much the end of this video. I'm glad you guys stopped by here. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to get to 20K subscribers. Spread the word on this channel and other DAWs that I actually will be using on this channel. But yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much the end of this one. And once again, it's your boy, X.E.L. Until next time, people. Peace.
AutoRewind.